Hello everybody, this is MrYourWilly for another video tutorial. Before I start this, I wanted to mention that at the very beginning, right after my intro, that little dash thing that says index, I'm going to be doing that from now on unless you guys don't like it. But I had a suggestion from my friend MrYourWilly, and he said that it'd be really cool if I set up some kind of an index system so that people who are viewing my tutorials, because I have a lot of different information in each tutorial, they can basically skip along the line and go to different parts of the tutorial just like an index is, or a chapter thing in a DVD is. So I'm going to start doing that from now on. I would like to have your guys' comment on what you think of it, and if it works or if it doesn't work, all that stuff. Of course, you need annotations on to be able to use it, because if you don't have annotations on, then the whole index system's not going to work. So those people with iPods and all that stuff, sorry, you won't be able to use it. Anyways, back to the actual tutorial. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to do different things with teleporters, because one of my YouTube subscribers, Random and Dumb, asked me to make a detailed video on teleporters because he's making a challenge map. Now these are the three different kinds of teleporters. You got the the receiver, which is the small one on the end. You got the sender, and you got the two-way. And the two-way basically acts like a sender and receiver at the same time. The receiver obviously only appear at the end here. The sender will only send you, you'll never appear here, and the two-way you do both. So if I walk through this two-way, I'll only appear at the one at the end every single time. And the sender here, I have a 50-50 chance of appearing at both of these, and that's because when you have more than one receiver per teleporter, you're gonna randomly pick one of them. It doesn't always choose the same one. Now once in a while it seems like it's always picking the right one, but it's just because every time you step in it, it's a 50-50 chance. So I'm gonna go in here and see, now I'm on the two-way, and let's see if it works. Nope. Come on, you be a little bit more random. Aha, there we go. And now I'm on the receiver only. So it's a 50-50 chance each way. Now, the differences between these three is these two look almost exactly the same. They both have an area, and they have this little nub at the end, which is actually considered the back of the teleporter. This one has neither, and that's because when you're receiving, you always appear on the center here. You never appear anywhere else, so it doesn't matter how big your area is, you always appear in the center. If it's a two-way or receiver, you'll always appear right here. So that's something you got to be careful of when you're making your map. Now, the area is to describe how or where it actually picks you up. So if you make it really large, let's make the area, well, I'm almost going to get stuck in that, really big here. That means it'll pick me up when I step right through that little border. Now, something that you can do, or something that you need to remember with areas, if you make it bigger than the normal one, even the normal one does this, but it's more prevalent with the bigger one, is if I thought I turned you, oh, I just said false on humans. I thought I turned it to a different channel. Anyways, I turned that off so that I could show you this test, so I'll always receive there. If I walk in here, see, I'm in the big area of this teleporter, and I received right on top of that. Now, I will not teleport again in this area until I leave this boundary and then walk back in it. So that's something you got to be careful about if you make your area bigger than normal. If somebody will like walk out of the teleporter and they'll be like, oh crap, someone's here. Wait, why am I not going back in the teleporter? And it's because the area is bigger and you can't see it in game. So you actually have to leave and then go back in to teleport. Of course, it's not going to do it for me because the receiver part is turned off. But normally if I walked out and then walked back in, then it would teleport me. So be careful when you're making your map with a teleporter with a bigger area. That's something that you got to be careful of. Now if you're making a challenge map like Random and Dumb is, you usually want to do only senders and receivers. And the reason why you want to do that is because with a sender and receiver, you will appear here, but you'll never go back to the starting place. So that allows you to keep going when you're continuing your challenge. And you usually want to make more than one, and the reason and the way you make more than one is if you set up another receiver out in your other part of your map here. Then you go ahead and put another sender. Default is going to be channel alpha, and what I mean by that is if you go into the teleporter option here, you get the radius stuff right away, and then you get team color, which does absolutely nothing for the actual teleporter. Changing its team is not even going to do anything. If you tell us to be team red, any team can use the teleporter, so that does nothing. The only thing that does something down here is your options for your teleporter. So channel is alpha through Zulu, so you got 26 channels and you only have 12 teleporters, so you never need all of those. But if you set it to the default is alpha, you need to set the next one to Bravo, and the one after that to Charlie, and the one after that to Delta. That way they're all going to different areas. So this one, now I want to make this one Bravo so that it's coordinated properly. So this is now 1 and this is 2. So when I go here, I'll always appear here. Another couple options you got here is you have human, land vehicles, heavy vehicles, which are like tanks, flying vehicles like the Banshees and such. And these you can set to true or false. So if I set this to false and land vehicles true, and remember, you got to set the receiving end to be the same. So if I want it to be false or true for land vehicles and false for players, I can't walk through here. I can only walk through this one because this one's still human true. But if I set up like a mongoose, vehicles, put that down there, then I walk in, I will not teleport through here because that's players only, but I will teleport through this one, and that's because that's set up to be mongooses. Now, like I was saying, that little nub there is considered the back of the teleporter. When you set up a teleporter, you want it to be facing the same way, but the receivers don't have that nub, so it's really hard to tell. The only way you can tell is you enter this one through the front, so you know the nub is in the back of it. You enter here, and then you stop. This is the front. And the reason why that is if you walk in through the front, you'll walk out through the front on the other one. So now if I want to, just for the heck of it, let's go ahead and make these guys face each other. Yeah, see, there you go. Now you'll always enter it, and that's really nice, especially if you're running away from somebody. You can now be facing that teleporter because you're running backwards through it, and you're still facing them when they pop out of the teleporter. It doesn't flip you around. So make sure you're having the teleporters facing the proper directions when you're doing, when you're setting these up. Now, that's pretty much the basics of teleporters, but I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys another trick here. Let's go ahead and remove these and get some two-ways in here. Alrighty then. So, teleporters not only remember, actually, yeah, I'll show you one thing first, and then I'm going to show you what I was originally going to show you. Teleporters remember height, and they don't remember width. Like, it doesn't matter if you enter it right on it or if you enter it to the left or to the right of it, it doesn't care. But it does care if you enter it from a higher plane. And what I mean by that is if I put this down here for the sender, and then I put the receiver for, let's say, Random and Dumb's challenge map over down there, and I put something like a crate on top. Oops, there we go. Let's go ahead and put like a heavy-duty crate. And the reason why you would put that there is so when you go to enter, it doesn't let you enter it unless you move this crate with explosives or whatever. That would, you know, be counting as a checkpoint. If you jump though, because I jumped high enough, I jumped above this crate. So you gotta do things like put structure. This is going to be a little insane for putting it on, but I'm gonna use this for the next example. Whoa, hello. If you put something up on top which prevents you from jumping, that will prevent you from jumping on top of that. Or you could set the area of this to be lower so it doesn't receive you at those extra heights. Those are two things you can do. Of course, you would want to use something smaller than a Coliseum wall, but I'm going to keep the Coliseum wall, and the reason why is because this next example I'm going to be showing you. Whoa, went too far. I'm going to go ahead and use two-way teleporters. Not custom power up. I didn't go far enough. Sorry, I'm trying to do this fast. It's a lot of information, and I've already passed the 10-minute mark, which is fine because I'm allowed to post large videos because YouTube trusts me for whatever reason. So if you put something like this, and you make the height really tall, like that. Actually, I'm going to even make it taller than that. Let's make it 4. And then you put another one, and let's make this 4 as well. Because they have to also be the same height if it's a two-way so that you can enter and exit and go back through the same one. And then if I raise this, I love being able to see the area. It's really nice. Now I can enter this one and be on the same ground floor, but if I'm on a higher floor of your house or whatever and I enter it, I'll appear on the other one. And this is really nice if you're making like a multi-floor structure and you want teleporters on one side of it to bring you to the other side of it. Don't use a teleporter on each floor, like a teleporter on the first floor, a teleporter on the second floor, a teleporter on the third floor. It's just going to waste teleporters. Use a teleporter and make the area really tall, and then just put something like a teleporter frame or a one-way shield or something to indicate this is a teleporter, because as you can see, it's invisible. You can't see it at all unless you accidentally walk over it. But that will save you a lot of money, because now instead of using 6 teleporters for 3 floors, you can use now 2. And a nice thing, because of the whole, like I said, if something's in your way, if you want a certain floor not to use that certain teleporter, put something in the way, like a building block. This is absurdly large. Let's put something else. That's still absurdly large, but it works for my example. If you put something like this in the way of where the teleporter would have been, and then you don't put the indicator like the one-way shield or whatever, now it doesn't affect you at all because there's something in the way and you can't jump that high normally. So there are some tips and tricks on how to use teleporters. I hope it gave you an understanding of what some of the things you can do, and I hope the index at the very beginning helped some of you out who were just trying to get to the main guts of the tricks or the main guts of whatever. Let me know if you guys like that index system. If you guys like it, I'll continue doing it for the rest of my other tutorials. And if you wish to see any of my other video tutorials, you can click the menu button in the upper right hand corner of that screen. It will bring you straight to my menu. You need annotations on to be able to interact with it, but it will bring you to any of my previous, past, and future tutorials once I post them up. I keep it up to date regularly. This is Gamertag Your Willy signing off.